Facts beyond debate. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Now, while the debate scoring game and the snap poll analysis that consumes hours of cable commentary, in the end, I'm not sure any of it matters. Not much, anyway. Could the president have sold his own record better? Yeah, he sold it tonight in Minnesota, I can tell you that. But does he need to remember that swing voters and suburban women still need convincing? Yeah, I guess so. But did Biden lob fifth-grade insults at the president in order to get under his skin? Absolutely. And did Biden lie about everything from his support for the Green New Deal to what Antifa represents? Of course he did. And did the media declare Biden the winner, just as they did, by the way, with Hillary in 2016? Of course the media did that. Because remember, the Democrat at a debate always triumphs.
Joe Biden acted like a human being. Donald Trump acted like a defiler.
Donald Trump declared war on decency and on democracy last night in a way that is utterly unmistakable.
The voters overwhelmingly thought last night that Joe Biden won that debate. Donald Trump set himself on fire in front of 100 million people.
It's so predictable, and I find it really boring. So tonight, it's useful to remember what is beyond debate. The successes of President Trump's America First agenda, they're stunning. And they have to be calmly and forcefully emphasized and personalized. And Biden's anti-freedom, anti-prosperity plans, they have to be exposed and explained. Now, of course, we already know that Biden is too weak to stop the riots. He's too weak to resist the radicals in his own party. But there are other key points that must be said and said again. Now, here's some of the points beyond debate. Number one, President Trump has delivered peace and prosperity. Remember when they said he was going to blow up the world? Now he's being nominated for Nobel Peace Prizes. Number two, a vote for Biden is a vote to immediately lock down the country. That's what the doctors will tell him. Number three, a vote for Biden is a vote to strengthen China's hand. Bye-bye tariffs. And number four, if Democrats end up controlling all levers of government, Americans will be poorer and less free. Now, even during this pandemic, Trump is still delivering, and I mean big time. All 11 major S&P indexes soared today on the news that private sector hiring is up and home sales, this is unbelievable, are at record levels. The Chicago PMI jumped to 62.4, the highest level since December 2018. Now, think about what would have happened had we done what Biden's team wanted. Well, would be locking down again like so many European countries, and our economy would be maybe where Spain's and Italy's economies are, in the toilet. As for Biden's idiotic comment that only the rich get richer in Trump's economy, well, check this out from the latest Federal Reserve report. Families at the top of the income and wealth distributions experience very little, if any, growth in net worth between 2016 and 2019, while families near the bottom of the income and wealth distributions generally continued to experience substantial gains. And there's more. Net worth increased 32.5% among the lowest income quintile and 30.7% among the second lowest. Net worth also increased among blacks, 32.1%. Wow. And Hispanics, 63.6%, compared to whites, 4%. I mean, that is a billboard, my friends. So think about this. Listen to what all those people you just saw, the talking heads on the media. The wealth gap shrank dramatically under Trump's policies after widening in the Obama-Biden years. And something that, I've said this so many times, I'm getting bored of my own words on this. And I don't understand this for the life of me. I don't understand why Trump doesn't lead every speech on the economy with this fact. Americans made more money during his first 3 years in office. Median income was up $6,000 per family. Now, this is real money to real people. In fact, it's more than double the income gains that Americans saw in the 16 years under Bush and Obama. Remember, Obama only got us back to the 2000 levels of Bush. So if Biden wins, you wouldn't just be voting to make yourself poorer. You'd be voting for less freedom. And the president needs to spell this out. If you want to see your daughter go to her prom next year, if you want to have your kids in school full time, if you want to go to church regularly, maybe even sing at church, if you want to actually celebrate your faith traditions, your holidays, Easter Sunday, maybe with your friends and family, maybe travel somewhere, if you want to get back to your life, your old life, then voting for Biden is out of the question. His national strategy, we always hear about the national strategy. First of all, he copies most of what Trump already said, but the national strategy that he doesn't want to talk about is one of control, confinement, and decline, masquerading as, I'm going to be listening to the doctors. No wonder China loves Biden so much, because under his policies, we'll be engineering our own downfall. China doesn't have to do it for us. And then you're really going to see a permanent divide between the haves, the elites, and the have-nots. For me, and I bet for a lot of you, I prefer a country where we, the people, are in charge of our own destinies. One where we make our own decisions about risks and rewards. It is beyond debate that we are always better off when we err on the side of more freedom and less government. But the people pulling Biden's strings believe the opposite. They don't trust you. Most of them don't even like you. Remember, it's beyond debate that they think that we're a systemically racist country, that we're a nation conceived in evil, not liberty. So why would you want to help them hurt you? And that's the angle.